How do you know?
I was like,
How do you
what's
normally
that?
do it?
She goes, black coffee. I was like, I'll take that. She goes, yeah, but don't you want more, like, fill it up? I was like, no, it's fine. Just give me that cup of coffee.
Give me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Raffers, you live, brother.
I'm alive.
There's no one on yet, so we'll see. We'll see who comes on.
I'm live and alive.
And alive with his amazing singing now. Oh, we got one person on. Let's see if they say anything. Salutations, Defcon Clark. Yes, we got 2 people on now. Who's this? Crash Avernus Avenue. Crash Avernus? Just yeah, it's early. How is everybody today? What, 5?
5
Mate,
people just like that.
your presence is increasing. This is the man himself. So you can ask Ryan questions today from Montreal.
Hello from Kalgoorlie.
Yep. Pub. That was a lazy little drive yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh my god, yeah. Lazy. Sitting on your ass, lazy.
Oh, where's the chat? Oi, how do I show the chat? I think I know. Here we go. Albany, New York. Excellent. So exclusive.
From upstate New York.
Upstate New York's very, very pretty. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saranac Falls. Is it Saranac Lake? Utica? All of that sort of. Yep.
We where would Nancy have it from? Utica?
There's not a place called Washington, is there?
Is there a place called Washington, New York? It's not far from here. There you go.
They were from like country New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We a few years ago played a bunch of shows with a band from some part of upstate New York. And they were really, really good and lovely guys. 9:20 p.m.
Yeah, you're living in the past, Defcon Clark. Join us here on Friday.
Join us on Friday.
All right.
Friday Guy Day.
I'll leave you guys to it. I'm going to go on.
He'll be back
Have
later.
a shower and stuff. When I come back, I will be fresh.
And come. Oh, we should have a guitar jam session because we got 2 guitars.
I can do that.
Yeah. This is pretty good. Like, this is probably better than the rubbish you can buy out there.
Oh yeah, I much prefer this coffee to. Shana knows where it's at.
It's not sour.
No.
Ah, yes. Oh, we gone up to 12. If anybody's watching, can you tell me how the quality of the stream? Because we are in a hotel and we're on the hotel Wi-Fi, and no idea what it's like. So hopefully it's coming through. And if you guys have questions you want me to answer, can you give us the winning lotto numbers from tomorrow or Friday? Do you have today's winning lotto numbers?
I'll take a run down to the shop and I'll find out.
Got me guitar. This was a very last minute decision to bring this guitar, and I'm glad I bought it because it was sick.
Is that the mirror?
No, it's a single.
Oh.
You got your bass, you got your guitar. There's going to be a lot of in this stream as well. It's 10:22 in PA. Now I want a coffee. The stream's all right. Excellent. Great. He's going to get the winning lotto numbers. We're going to talk about guitars.
Oh, and a comet just flew over here, so watch out.
So watch out. Oliver's on here. Australia. We were actually talking about the rubato guitars on the way down, Oliver. So, or is it Olivier? I never know. Can you give us some South African accent, Willie?
Yeah, the rubato guitar. I look forward to seeing the one that Leon picks up. I'm struggling here.
That's a fun fact people might not know about Ryan Rafferty.
Yeah.
Tell them about where you were born.
I was born in a little town called Springs, just outside of Johannesburg. It was much like Kalgoorlie, it was one of those gold rush towns. And they used to say that the streets were paved with gold. And I remember last time I was there, when you can have a look, and some of the street still has tiny little, well, I mean, this was in the 90s, I'm sure it's all gone by now.
Yeah, you see, it's just Oliver, not Olivier.
Just
Not-
Oliver.
Not fancy.
No, just Oliver.
Do South Africans make fun of Australians? And is it just like, yeah, bro, what's with those Aussies that are like, rah, rah. Dumb.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Mum and Dad weren't from South Africa. Mum was born there, but her parents were Italian. So I didn't grow up very South African, but I was...
Just now is at the end of every South African sentence.
Oh, I see. Yeah, is it?
Just now.
Yeah, and I'll do that. There's a difference between doing something just now and doing something now. But I haven't figured out what that difference is yet. I think it's all tone of voice. Any other South Africans? Or just young Oliver? Oliver Lamson. How's Western Cape anyway?
Most
love to
Aussies
go.
South African though. Yeah, in Perth.
In Perth, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's there was like I forget what was it a census thing or something? But in certain suburbs, they're actually the majority are South Africans who have migrated to Perth.
It would be like that near where you are.
Yeah, they call it the Eastern Province, which is great for us because they love gigs. Hey,
Yeah,
like
they do.
love coming out to see live music. Aussies are just like, yeah, whatever.
South Africa's a pretty... Americans, I find South Africans are very good at letting their guard down and just having... Americans, I find South Africans are very good at letting their guard down and just having a good time.
Yeah.
Whereas Aussies are... Aussies are relaxed, but you don't get that level of involvement that you usually get from like an American.
The
or
level
South
of
African.
buy-in.
Yep.
Australians are like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
See how I feel tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah.
South Africans and Americans are just like, yep, give it me. Someone asked how we're doing. I'm doing pretty good. Normally, we do this gig a couple of times a year. It's a pretty long drive, and you get here for 3 nights, and you sort of get in. Normally, the Thursday night, I just don't feel good, and I actually felt pretty good last night. So there was obviously something in my preparation which was different.
It was the best Thursday night we've had in Cal.
Yeah, actually, that was pretty awesome. Go wash your asshole.
Yes, I will. Like, I don't know what's smellier, my pits or my ass, but I'll take care of that. I'll brush my teeth.
Oh man. Did you notice the guitars sounded different in your ears last night?
I did notice that, Leon.
What's
that about?
Did you like it?
I did.
It was pretty good, hey. I used a Plexi model for most stuff.
Right.
And it just worked easy, hey.
So when you say you used a Plexi model, was that...
You got your Marshall Plexi.
But I mean, was it you specifically chose that sound to come into our ears? Or was that your
That
sound
was
for the
like
night?
the sound, yeah. I futzed around with it during the week because I was like, you're doing this gig, I would normally just have like an AC/DC sound.
Because I noticed your room sound was different.
Yeah.
Even your clean was just the response that you got.
It was so good. And this guitar was good too. Like I wouldn't expect to use it for this type of gig because we've got like I just took the live preset we use for like the proper shows. The original shows where we play our own music all night, and I just popped a different amp in for me.
Wicked.
But yeah, like with a Marshall,
right.
and it felt like playing a Marshall. It was like, I remember this.
And it was actually really good. Normally we can be a bit loud, and it sort of drives people away because it's a small room downstairs.
I used to go downstairs and just, here you go.
I honestly thought that's what you were doing. That's why when I came in here, I was like, I thought you were in the middle of Q&A and stuff.
Where are the cues? We got any love for the JTM 45? Is Cam in room 12? Tondi!
No, room 12's locked out.
Yeah.
Troy, man.
Cam's in room 10. We're all in room 10 actually. All three.
2 singles and a bunk.
3 plus 1 this weekend.
Yeah, 3.5 men.
3 half men and a boy. That's great. Yeah, Cam's in. We're all in room 10, but he's, I think, Pokemon Go with Cash.
I'll send. I think they're Fortnite.
Ah, really?
Getting Cam on the Fortnite.
They're getting the Fortnite going.
Yeah.
There you go. He'll be back. He'll be back. What did some people say? Any love for the JTM 45? Yes. I've been using mine a lot actually. My real amp, because I've been doing some videos with the the Boss Wazza tube expander, and that amp's a pretty good candidate because I don't really like. I'm trying to think of like amps I own that aren't just chug chug chug. Yeah, we're on a ragdoll gig at the moment, so we are in. I see what you did. I see what you done there, Troy. A Bababan. Yeah, nailed it. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we're in, for people unfamiliar, we're in a town called Kalgoorlie at a place called the Exchange Hotel, and the gig is an all-night rock covers thing, and we normally play some of our own tunes in here as well, but you've been there, have you, Troy? People are talking about you here, mate. You must have left an impression. Yeah, so we come out, it's 3 nights, and we play like what you would describe as pub rock here, I guess. So heaps of AC/DC and Creedence and Zeppelin, and you got your Bryan Adams, you got... we do a bunch of like 80s Australian music as well, like Mondo Rock and Choir Boys and pub rock, hey. Like,
Oh yeah.
you got your Skinnerds, you got your Katy Perry. Hey, tell Tondi what you sang last night.
Oh, I had a go at singing. We were joking on the way up that the music that I hear in my home on the day to day is not the kind of music that I normally listen to, and one of those songs was a bit of Katy Perry. And Leon pointed out that Troy Man actually sings this one particular song in what's it, Holy Grail? Same chord progression, so it's very easy to just sing it over the top. So we gave it a go.
And you did it. People liked it.
It was a bit out of my range, so it was like a bit confusing at the time.
Raw, that's the one.
We could give that a go. We could give it a go again.
What if you done like metal version?
Could do metal raw.
Metal raw. I love someone who's just written Barnsey. We actually don't play any Barnsey. Remember when we did Kaysan?
Oh,
We did this one country gig, and there was this guy all night like, come on, play some Barnsey, come on, do it. And we were like,
mate.
if we try it, we shut up. And we did it, and it was about halfway through, and we're just like...
And even he was like...
He was like, nah. You're gonna do it, shit, don't do it at all.
We had a guy last night ask if we could play... there's a song called I Was Only 19
Yeah.
by Red Gum.
That escalated.
It did. And he's like, what about the hip? I said, no, we don't do it. He goes, what about the hip hop version? It's like, nah. He goes, well, what other Aussie songs do you play? And I'm like, actually, I don't know. We did a couple.
We did, mate.
We didn't do AC/DC last night.
Did we really not play any AC/DC?
No.
We didn't.
First time ever, I reckon.
We winged that.
Yeah.
We gave them Tracy Chapman instead.
We won it.
So yeah, we played Russ last night. That was pretty good.
Yeah, we've got to do that again.
There was that. There's always a guy doing the Angel City. Oh, that'd be because Angels were Angel City in America. Hey?
Yep.
You got your.
Yeah.
Take me away to Marseille. we don't play any Angels, to the constant disappointment of people who come to these shows.
Except here they call it Angels.
Angels. There's no vowels in there. It's NGLZ. Angels. I'm missing Crown Jewels. Yeah, Crown Jewels.
Green Jewels.
Raw, Shannon Hearn's first year at the Eagles stunned him.
What is it?
He's getting around it. Copperhead Road, don't do that one. So when's your next gig at Optus Stadium? Oh, hey Troy, when's your next gig at Optus Stadium, my brother? Tomorrow? Is that the Dockers Dons? If people see Troy Nababan commenting, that bloke plays a bloody gig on top of a stadium.
To tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, week in, week out.
And they spend a fortune to go.
Someone's asked me like a question about gear. Jim, have a great show. Ampfield, Axe FX or Kemper. Get an Axe FX 3 if you want that, in my opinion. We have some other people. Have you played the PRS McCarty semi-hollow? I haven't, but I really, I reckon the next guitar acquisition that's like on the far horizon is one of the McCarty hollow bodies. Just isn't that right, Troy? How many years have we been talking about that? Because Incubus, you know the guy from Incubus, he played that like hollow PRS.
Yeah.
They're sick.
I just remember when I was it was like Incubus and Santana. They played PRS, and that was about the extent of my.
Then you got your Tremonti.
Yeah.
But when he sucked.
I'm talking late '90s.
Yeah.
When
you got your Santana.
I didn't even
your
know
Creed.
what pubes were.
You didn't know what pubes were. Play smooth tonight. Could we do that? What is it like? And then.
Yeah.
There's. You could do that. Hey, you know what we kind of did last night? There were a bunch of Kiwis in last night, and of course, if you've seen my video about Aussie punters, it's true. The Kiwi guy who asked for some Dave Dobbin, but yeah, there were like what 7 or 8 blokes.
Yeah.
And they started going nah. So we kind of played a bit of Foot Trot Flats, and then we were like no, it's terrible. We'll play some real music, and then like. 2 songs later, you just hear from the crowd, nah. And we had one guy jump up and do it. Oi, what was he doing?
He was shearing. He was shearing an imaginary. He was, instead of playing air guitar, he was air shearing.
So I take my mic off and I'm like, oh, this guy's obviously going to get up and do it. And he kind of sang it pretty well.
Bit, yeah.
So instead of taking the microphone from me, he's like shearing an imaginary sheep, going, I got a bit of da. And then I'm like, take the mic. And he just goes, no, you sing, I'll shear. Which I never, that's
you sing,
phrase.
I'll shear.
So yeah, that's, we got to learn that one. You guys going to do solid rock? We should. So last Saturday, last Friday I did a stream, which a bunch of you guys tuned into, and someone asked, do I have any gigs on the weekend? And I was like, nah, no gigs on the weekend, hey. And it gets to 7:45 on Saturday night. And I'm like, considering, I'm in that phase where it's like, do I get into my undies now? Or do I give it another hour? And I get a message I send a message to Ryan like, oh yeah, you wanna play Mario Kart online? He's like, are you joking? And like, I'm at the gig. Where are you? And I was like, what gig? And we had a Jura gig. Luckily, it was only like 10 minutes from my house, so I like
just piled everything
in and went down there. And a good friend of ours basically came down to the gig and like sat in for the whole gig.
It was funny because it was Scott. Scott kept saying to me, where's Leon? Like, what time do you guys start? You know, so I was saying, I don't know if we start at 8 or 8:30, and normally Leon's here at 7:30 with all the gear, so it turns out we're meant to start at 8, and yeah, it was about 10 minutes to 8. I was like, you coming to Paddy's?
You coming to the gig?
Leon goes, what's happening at Paddy's? What have I forgotten? It was like just the 3 messages where you could just see him going, shit. You get like straight in the car.
As I was doing that, I was standing up grabbing things as well.
6 minutes he was in the car and on the road. So that's impressive.
So that's the lesson, kids. If you're if you make illusions of being a professional musician, have all your gear somewhere ready to grab and go, because you'll need it. Hey, Troy, if you're still there, how many gigs have you done where you've got a call an hour before the gig, like, yep, band's pulled out, can you do 6 sets for $200 an hour away, you know?
And then when you say that no, they're like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah. But anyway, we did Solid Rock with Scott, and that's a great song.
Solid Rock. Yeah,
Wisconsin, what's the actual definition of a bloke? What would the American equivalent of a bloke be?
It's not a dude, is it?
It's definitely not a bro.
Nah.
Because the whole bro things, that has some different overtones.
What, blokes?
Because chicks can be blokes.
Yeah. Yeah, they can be blokey.
Honorary blokes.
Yeah. What is a bloke? It's like a...
you know when someone's like, oi, you know when Americans like, man, that guy is he's a dude, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of, a bloke.
Yes.
Bloke can be many things. Blokes, sheeps.
Like Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is a top bloke.
Yeah, he's top bloke. That's the... But you can also get shit blokes.
Al Di Meola Rainbow Finish. Have you seen those PRSs?
Mm-hmm.
Look it up if you need some pornography for your shower. North Carolina, that green PRS. It's funny you mentioned the green PRS.
Just gonna whip that one out now.
This guitar's a very good one to use on these gigs because you got your 5-way. I'm going to be speaking a lot in that dumb voice because it's early.
And we'll drive our wives mad when we get home because it takes us a half a day to adjust back into normal life where we stop talking like that.
I'll be sleeping on the couch Sunday night. So I got the greenie here. It's it's taken me a long time to like get this guitar. It's I've had this guitar for a while, and there was remember like when around the time we started the band, Ryan was doing a gig every fortnight where he was playing in an 80s tribute band as, what was your character? Slosh?
Slosh.
Yeah.
Like Slash, but more drunk. That was the idea.
And it was all gunners and
it was
poison.
all tongue-in-cheek as well. It wasn't like a Steel Panther kind of a... I know they're tongue-in-cheek, but they're pros.
Yeah,
that one.
There you go.
Nice. I'm just checking out that Rainbow Finish PRS.
And anyway, I remember having this guitar and being like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then Ryan used it for quite a few of those gigs. And anytime he'd played, I'd be like, man, that thing sounds sick. Remember you did a gig with this and my Marshall Lead 12 amp?
Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's right, because was that a Friday gig?
Yep.
So you didn't work on Friday, and we used to rehearse on Friday.
That's right, yeah.
And it was like every second Friday you'd be like, oh, I need something to play. Don't have strings on my guitar. What can I take? It's like, yeah, whatever, take this.
Toy library.
And there was one gig where it's like he grabbed this and then my little Marshall Lead 12 practice amp and did the gig with it, and it sounded fine, you know? Who was that sound guy?
His name was Chris.
Yeah.
He was a good guy.
He
laughed.
rolled with it, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, he was nice.
All right, I'm going to catch up with what people are talking about. Green PRS, not going to the LA Amp Show, unfortunately. Quick question, do you use any high or low cuts? Not in the global settings. I leave the global settings just flat, and I do all the cuts within presets. Happened at Paddy's earlier this year. Call it 7:50 for an 8 p.m. start. Hey, Troy, I've been there, mate. I feel you. Dude, rewind your mind. A bloke is a reserved stoic alpha. There you go. That's so much better. Yeah.
I was gonna say they were kind of like they were sort of Chad-like, but back in the is that what a Chad is? Is a Chad like is that like a or am I getting confused?
Nah.
Chad's more of like a thuggish athlete, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's just it's like anyone at the top of the food chain in high school,
Right.
or perceived to be.
Yep.
Where are we at? Where is the pickup switch? Oi, mate, where's the pickup switch on this guitar?
This is what I liked about this, was that you couldn't accidentally knock it. Oh wow.
That's a volume control, that's the tone?
There you go, one of those ones.
Yeah, so it's a rotary.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
The dumb thing that they ship with these, because they don't do these anymore, you know, they put a Strat selector switch. They used to have like just a standard speed knob on there. It's like impossible to grab if you're playing live because you get sweaty. So I put like a knurled one that you can actually grip, and that makes a big difference. This is pretty funny because like the most stock Duncan JB, Duncan Jazz 5-way, like sounds pretty good. If you could only have one delay pedal, really don't know what's good. Hank Hill, that's a great username, man.
Well, what did it say? If you could only have...
Tom Araya sounds different. Delays. What was your delay pedal of choice?
I just had the DD6. No, I had a DD... Is it DD?
You got the DD?
By Boss. I've played through a 6 and it was good. I mean, I only ever used... Oh shit, I haven't played lead guitar for years, but when I used to do it, it was just so that you could get that sort of, you know, that kind of a thing, and it was great for that. I'm sure it did much more than I ever used it for.
I got the Twin, the
That's
20.
Right, yeah.
The DD20 is really good if you don't want to spend a lot of money and get a sick delay.
Does that have the tap on it?
Yeah.
Tap tempo, yeah. So,
or you can assign an extra switch to tap tempo and use presets.
Yeah, there you go.
Because they do the 200 now. They just like released you got your 500, which is like a really intense, well, like very extensive delay, and then they've got like a slimline version at the moment. So that one's pretty good. What else would be good? If you want one of the big multi-delays, like an Eventide Time Factor, if you can find one, or get an Eventide H9. I really like that pedal, but that's a sick one.
What was the one that Luke used to rock? He had those little, were they T-Rex?
T-Rex, yeah.
They were nice.
Yeah.
I used to get those good sounds.
The Replica's a really nice sounding delay. I had that for a while, and I think I just had so much stuff.
Yeah.
That was like the thing that was one of the things I sold to get an Axe-Fx. So yeah, Boss DD20, I reckon. How is that rotary effective for fast changes? Not very good. Not very good, believe me. Favorite string gauge for drop C? I just use 10 to 52, and it's probably a bit light, but I'm lazy and they're easy to get. 4:45 in the morning.
You are crazy guys. You are crazy, Andy V. You're up at 4:45 in the morning. Are you still up or are you just up?
It's probably, where would it be 4:45 in the morning? Europe?
Yeah.
We're not that far east.
UK?
Yeah, 4:45 in Perth. 7-hour difference. They'll probably be in Europe somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the chat at? Oh, yeah.
Thank you, kind of.
Yeah, honestly, man, like DD20, Boss is just good. The Strymons are really, really good. The Ocean Machine's out of this world. In Germany. Excellent. 4:45 in Italy as well. Are you guys about to go to bed, or are you just getting up? Like,
yeah. Is it buongiorno or buonanotte? I'm still up. We're going to get some sleep soon. Good on you, Andy V. Look after yourself.
When are you guys going to play in Sydney? Ooh, maybe March next year. We should try and get a, because we're doing Melodic Rock Fest in Melbourne.
Something on the way there.
So I've got to try and get us a little Sydney on the way, I think. Because we're doing an acoustic thing on the Friday, and we're doing like a proper set on the Sunday. Maybe like try and get into Frankie's on a Thursday or something.
Ocean Machine is like 2 acts, 2 delays and reverb blocks.
Yeah.
Greetings from...
So you know Devin Townsend?
Yeah.
He has his signature pedal, which is like a reverb and delay, and
right.
it's very, very cool.
I'm new to this, and this is really cool.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
Where are you guys? Kalgoorlie. Yep.
greetings from Florida. What do you think of bands that replace their bass player with just a pog,
pog.
or their lead guitar?
Or their lead guitar. That's funny.
To be honest, I don't think of bands that do that. But like, if it works for them, go for it. You know. I mean, we saw, we did a gig with a band called Sisters Doll, and they're three brothers, and they were a three-piece. You know, bass, drums, and gap. And then the bass player now, for a couple of songs, plays guitar.
They have the bass on tracks.
Yeah, they've got the bass on tracks, sorry. So the bass is still there, and he's quite proficient. So that's a good use of his skill.
If you guys like Kiss, check out Sisters Doll, because they are like Kiss 2.0. The nicest, some of the nicest guys
just sweet,
ever met.
Sweet country boys, you know.
And
really
the
nice.
bass player, who's the youngest brother, yeah, like on a couple of songs, like, oh yeah, I've started playing guitar on a couple of songs. And he rips. He was playing these like Nuno Betancourt, like, you know, you just hear this like really, because he was wearing an Extreme shirt. And I didn't put two and two together, and he started playing, and I was like, of course you love Nuno. Of course you're going to be wicked. Please do an interview with Cliff. I have a feeling he'd oblige. It's also super interesting whenever he talks. Yeah, do you know who Cliff is? No, it's not Cliff Linton. So basically the guy responsible for the Axe Effects.
I thought you may have been talking about that guy.
Cliff Chase.
You caught up with over there.
So I stayed with Matt. So for anyone unaware of like the Fractal universe, Cliff is like the genius who makes everything, and then the guy that kind of does everything else is Matt Picone. And I would love to do an interview with Cliff, but I have no idea if that's something he'd be interested in, because in his words, he's not good with compliments. It was pretty funny.
So just tell him what he's doing wrong.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, the best thing was, I forget what it was. I was doing, so when I was in Boston, I'm doing this clinic, and Matt was like driving, so he had the laptop with all the stuff, and I was like, "Oi, do this," and we're talking about sounds and how you know, I played Rust before we'd finished it, and I was sort of saying, yeah, you know, this is what we do in the studio, and we do this and this, and there was a particular thing where I was like, "Can we do that?" And Matt's like, "Oh no, that, you know, that hasn't been implemented yet," and you just hear, "It's flawless," which was Cliff. So, yeah, he just walked around with like a box of cookies all weekend.
Oh, you did tell me about that. Yeah, what a sweetheart.
Any news with the FM3 on what's happening with it? You're doing great, Wooly.
Thanks, Troy.
Ask Ryan some questions, because you guys all know the canned responses I have. The FM3, from what I understand, they are getting the first batch of units this month, so I don't know anything about it. I just hear when it's like, you know, something's coming out. They put out I was saying to Ryan, they put out a firmware update yesterday, and I had about 40 minutes between dropping my wife off at work and leaving for the gig to pick everyone else up. And
Leon doesn't let his wife drive.
Mate, they shouldn't be able to. Please don't quote that. That's a joke.
Yeah, we're kidding. She's a strong, independent woman.
It's like, you know, it's like 45 minutes I get to spend with her out of 4 days.
Oh man, I get it. Yeah.
What was I saying?
You were saying you had
Oh yes, I had 40 minutes. So I saw there was a firmware update, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't update right before a gig. But there was a few little bug fixes in there that work fantastic, because we done them on the gig. But yeah, it was like, it took 20... I turned my computer off before I left, so I had to wait for that to boot up. And then I installed the firmware, and then I did a little video with it, and it was like, well, time to go. I hope it works at the gig. And it did. It sounded really good. So yeah, stuff like that. I was talking to one of the engineers at the Axe Fest, Michael, who does all the editor software, and he goes, yeah, I always, you know, I get to work and I make sure I have a coffee, and I sit down at my computer and I brace myself, because I never know what my inbox is going to be like. And he said, I'll just know as the inbox loads by the number of like support email tickets I've got. if Cliff's just like dropped a new firmware. Because like, yeah, he'll just show up to work, make sure everything's running fine. He'll go home and he'll code. And it might be like 3 in the morning. He's like, excellent, there's a brand new firmware. I'll just put it out. So everybody shows up and they're like, ugh. And one thing that happens is, because everything, the Axe Effects runs as like a client server thing. So it's like, you got the unit and the software reads off the unit and the foot controller reads off the unit. So if the firmware gets updated and there's like, say they add a new control, say like, I don't know, a new parameter called like wool, then the software that you use to edit it obviously doesn't know that there's this new parameter. It has to know to read the new wool parameter.
You've got to speak the same language.
So it'd be like, the firmware will come out and then people using the editor will be like, it's not working. This new parameter isn't in there. It's like, yeah, because the software hasn't been updated or because you haven't hit refresh in it. So I imagine they would get like hundreds of those emails.
Boy, what's going on?
What's going on? And was going by a woolly looking man on the right side of the screen, the most intense look on his face. Jolly Manson. Let's see, Montreal has new stuff coming along. Yeah, it's getting there, Sam. Did you ever play a gig with the Lazies? It's funny because the first time I ever heard about the Lazies was somebody here was telling us about them. From what is the saddest key of all? I read that as Melbourne is the saddest key of all.
The key to my heart
is Melbourne.
The saddest key of all.
Where are we at? New stuff coming along. We got to get into the studio, I think, in the next 2 months and finish that album.
John Roberts, no sound.
No sound, damn it.
Still no sound? Just wait a minute. Just check out and see if the sound's up, and then we can come back.
Oh, it looks like it's going all right.
Looks like people are hearing it. Oh, John Roberts.
When do you know about the Kiss Cruise? Oh, we didn't make it on the Kiss Cruise, which is why we haven't been talking about it.
Thanks, John.
There you go. Love Rust. With the amazing singing mouth.
What's the benefits of recording with Axe Effects versus good audio interface? VST amps, cabs in Logic, Cubase, etc.
What do you reckon, Rafferty? What's the advantage?
The advantage, I guess, look, Leon's the guy to ask about this sort of thing, but from what I can tell as a layperson, everything that, and this is probably something you can do regardless of what you record with in the studio, but Leon's able to take our studio sounds that he perfects with Troy and take them straight into the live setting. So when we go and play a theatre to a few thousand, or whether we play to
30 blokes who want to hear Dave Dobbin.
Yeah, 30 blokes downstairs, it's the same sound, you know, give or take room sound.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, nowadays you can pretty much get a sick sound with anything. Have you seen any of the Plagueside Studio stuff?
No.
You should. His stuff's really good. He's another Ryan.
Right.
He has this whole thing on like how to make sick sounding, basically like how to make a metal song with free plugins, and it sounds so good.
Awesome. Yeah, Mr. Hard Rocker says to Alex here, less CPU burden on the computer.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. And I mean, you can always take your like printed track, and you can also record a DI, which you should be doing anyway. You're doing recordings just for, you know, you want to reamp it later or makes editing easier. So should I buy an Axe Effects 3 for your home studio? I have a question. Who said that? Sebastian. What do you want to be able to do?
Sebastian Meha?
Because if you are a guitar head and you just want something where you can get sick tones and you don't want to buy another interface and stuff like that, it's a pretty good all-in-one solution. Some very good plugins. Yeah, probably the best two are Mercurial Audio, who I really like. They have a Triaxis plugin and a Marshall plugin and Neural DSP. They're probably the two best that I've tried.
Your boy looks like Tom Araya.
Yeah.
I get Tom Araya, Rob Zombie. What's the other one?
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson, of course.
When do you guys want to finish this album? Don't know, eh?
Yeah. Sorry, Troy.
Do you reckon we should?
We have to. Absolutely have to.
Sam, what's the best support gig you guys have done? Ooh, I reckon Sam might have been responsible for one of these gigs. Living Colour was pretty sick.
Yeah, Living Colour was great. Actually, I like those shows that we do at Astor. We've done one for Sebastian Bach there as well. That's always fun. Nice big stage, lots of room, great front of house sound. So I know we've got ears, but lots of power on stage.
Yeah.
It just feels good. A room full of people who like the genre of music that you're playing. What can go wrong?
Living Colour. Who else did we do? Sebastian Bach.
Skid Row at Whiskey was good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. So in terms of Aussie gigs, I reckon any of those gigs at the Astor.
Yeah.
The first one we did, we played with Uriah Heep. I think that was nearly sold out, and that was pretty awesome. Like looking up and seeing the tears, because we hadn't really played a venue like that before, and that was always like for me. There were like 3 or 4 venues I remember growing up where it's like, oh, imagine playing a gig there. Astor was one of them. Metro City was another one.
Yep. I've done that one.
And Perth Concert Hall's the other one. So if Perth Concert Hall ever happened, something pretty remarkable
Yeah.
would have to go on. Or just book it, see who comes. Spend a bunch of money on it. I'd go with Living Colour because I think that's when we played the best.
Yeah, I think so. And we were more in the groove and everything was sort of up and running.
But yeah, Tondi, I reckon we better get in and Sep and Ock, because we don't have a lot of gigs, so just knock it on the head. When will you be performing in Northern Illinois or Wisconsin? That's a great question.
Let's say summer, okay? Regardless of which year it is, let's try and make it summer. Because I don't handle the cold too well, my old bones. Another from Montreal here. Very nice.
I'd really like to play in Canada.
I have some extended family in Toronto, and I'd love to go and visit Canada. Bonjour. Oh man, I'm so sorry you guys. Sorry? Oh man, I'm so sorry. You guys rock. Sorry to hear. Thanks, Arthur, and you guys rock. You guys definitely live stream a gig.
Should we do it tonight?
We could. You could, hey.
Because Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Just plug this in. Maybe I'll do a bit tonight.
Making people sick for years with my plan. Now I know it's my sound.
So people hear you're playing and they're suddenly just like, bro, I'm sick.
Ryan, you are an awesome vocalist. Thanks, John.
He's pretty good, hey.
I'm very lucky that this is how I sound when I sing.
His amazing singing mouth.
Yeah. New archetype plugin is sick.
That's awesome, that one. Monster on bass.
Wow. Monster or pig? One of the two.
Pig monster.
Is it
Oh, that's really cool.
Caligula's horse?
Yes, have you heard that?
No, but it makes me think of that drummer, Caligula. What's his name? From Melbourne.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah, Nick, yeah.
Caligula's horse kind of sound like Opeth, which
Cool.
I like.
Yeah, very nice. Hi, Leon and Ryan from Oklahoma. No, well,
Oklahoma,
that
hey,
state
man.
is very close to our heart.
The second gig we ever played in America. No, the first gig we ever played in America was in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Ryan, how did you like the Cherry Bar? Always loved the Cherry Bar. And I actually like hanging out there afterwards too.
Boy, we have a sick time in Melbourne, don't we?
Have we ever been without seeing the drummer from Airborne?
Nope.
No.
He's been there every time.
Every single time.
And people are like, oi, yous hell look alike, hey.
I'm never brave enough to go and say, oi.
Sick band.
Yep. Rock on. Do you run any of the Dark Glass stuff, Ryan? No, but I've heard a lot about it and I've seen some demo videos by John Stockman.
Yes.
Who plays bass for Carnival. I think he uses the Dark Glass stuff.
Got a
almost
Siggy
exclusively,
pedal.
yeah.
You want to know a fun fact? You know what part of your tone is in the Axe Effects rig we run at the moment?
And I was just about to say, I'm almost certain that there's a bit of Dark Glass in our our live sound.
We use the B7K model for bass. B7K, well, I've got like a little tone match of your Sans amp in there and the SVT.
Yep. Yeah, the Sans amp I've been using for years because it's really easy to just plug into any rig and you've got the sound that you're used to using.
So the first year we went to the States, I remember Troy came with us and suffered and endured us through the States, which, you know, made our friendship stronger.
Yeah, it's give and take though, isn't it? Sure.
And man, I remember spending hours in Guitar Center trying to find a rig. And Ryan, like, before the tour was like, I have SansAmp, I'm going to use this for everything. And I was like, boy, you're cooked. And it sounded so good. And it only took me another, like, 4 years to come around to the idea of running direct. And now we do it all the time. So, so, you know, John has that signature dark glass pedal. This is like such a... This sums up a lot about Jono. He's obviously got one, and he's got, I think it must be like an early prototype that they sent him. And his version of his pedal, you can't update the firmware on. So whatever the latest update is, he doesn't have. Like, he has essentially the beta version. So the people who are using his signature pedal have like a sicker version than he has.
Got stiffed.
But that thing is pretty amazing, having heard him like play it, and it's just like, you know, if you can do what he does on bass, then you get that sound out of that pedal.
What time tonight?
About 8:30. So what's the time now?
It'll be 8:30.
That'd be 8:30 a.m. Eastern time in America.
Yep.
We'd start, but I might do, first set, it's always give or take, so maybe closer to like 11 in the morning. That'd be pretty funny. I don't know if I'd get a copyright strike or something with like playing covers on a live stream.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good point.
Maybe we should live stream it on Facebook.
Yes.
So if you go to the Ragdoll Facebook page, I'll chuck a live stream up tonight.
Montreal is now officially a metal city.
That's cool.
To come here, wicked.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
We'd love to see a gig live streamed. Being on the East Coast, chance to see you live are hard to come by. That's true, Chris. Hopefully we can rectify that. Oh, you're an ACT, I'm assuming, by your name. I'd like to go to Australian Capital Territory.
There's a venue there. Maybe it closed. But I remember a lot of bands were going there.
That's what, because Lee had a gig over there with Full Scale, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, here you go.
Well,
Anyone after the Pliny use Afro 20 for 20 euro off. That's pretty good.
Thank you, Mr. Hard
Is that
Rocker.
because of Rabia? Probably.
Is Rabia?
You know, from Anderton's?
Yeah,
The guy with the Afro?
Yep, sick player.
He's, yeah.
Anybody after the penny? Plenty.
The penny. You got the penny?
I know you read that one. Give us a Spinal Tap moment.
I'll give you one. And then while he thinks of one, so when we were talking about when we played with Uriah Heep, so the theatre we played at, it's like a proper theatre, so the green room is underneath the stage. And in order to get in, one side of it is like the load-in, so it's a like second story thing, and the other side there's a small little door that just opens straight onto the street. And I walked out to, I don't know, do something, and this was might have been after we played. I can't remember the exact chronology, but we were out there, and then the singer from Uriah Heep steps outside before their set, you know, to get some air, and it must have been after we played.
After we played, before they did.
Because he kind of said some token compliment, like, oh, it sounded really good, guys. And I was just like, oh, you know, thanks for actually coming to Perth, you know. I've been wanting to see that band live for so long, and we got to open for them. And we're chatting away, and like, lovely, lovely dude. And he goes, all right, mate, I better get up there and do it, I guess. And he goes to open the door, and it's locked. So he knocks on the door, and like the rest of the band's ready to go on stage, and no one is there to open the door for this guy. So he's like, fucking hell. And I'm just standing there, just going, this is actual Spinal Tap. This is like somebody who they probably based one of the Spinal Tap characters on. That band, it was the most Spinal Tap looking band ever. And they acted like it as well. You remember the really nice bass player?
That's right, yeah.
The like incredible left-hand bass player who was just like, after the gig, I think he like came up to you, or maybe it was Cam, and was like, I really, really liked your sound.
Yeah.
He was probably about our age. Yeah, it was just like, all about it. That was so funny. So that's my Spinal Tap moment.
The Chris from ACT.
The basement. That's it.
basement. Yep. What do you think of the EVH 5153 15-watt LVX head?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I like the 5150s.
That's a nice one. Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Cheers from
Cheers
Texas.
from Texas.
Texas is another place we like a lot too. Running through the Axe 3 on this run. Yes, we are. Everything through one Axe Effects. That's pretty cool. If there are any... Have you ever had a Stonehenge set on stage?
We've had Stone something else on stage.
Oh, Wooly, Chris Jericho.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Thank you,
good.
Troy. Thanks, man.
I'll preface this by saying we had a gig in Oklahoma City, and it was with 2 other local bands. And unbeknownst to us, Fozzy got booked. So they have like a main room and a small room. So there was a local show happening, and Fozzy were booked there. And I think because obviously sales for both shows weren't meeting expectations, they just chucked the local bands on as the support for Fozzy. So we got to play the big room, and that was pretty cool. And this was... I know nothing about wrestling.
I don't know a lot about wrestling, but I've seen enough to know who Chris Jericho is, or was, or who he thinks he is. And
Rich Ward is a guitar player.
that's right, yeah. And I know, like, I understand, like, wrestling, there's persona and that sort of thing, and that's fully understandable. It's part of the bread and circus. But I remember, I'll never forget, we were in this dark, dark club, not a single particle of natural light coming into this thing.
You know, so I'm sure people who are watching from the United States know, you get these venues that are in like, they're in what
Strip
feels...
malls, hey?
Yeah, they feel like they're in a strip mall, and there's no windows on the venue at all. Like, you go in and it feels like you're going into some kind of like Area 51 or something, you know?
Yeah, or a haunted house.
Yeah, this giant room. I also remember that night, Kenny, his guitar broke in half.
That's right.
A friend of ours was playing this Kramer, and he comes up to me and goes, hey Leon, do you know how to fix this? And literally his guitar had just, the body had split in half. I was like, oi man, just nah. And he ended up selling it to a fan and buying a Strat with it.
Wow.
Yeah, he got the whole band to sign it, and he was like, yeah, some guy gave me $1,000.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go and buy a Strat. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
Oh yeah, so it's really dark, but all the support bands are there setting up and getting a feel and all of that sort of thing, and all wondering when Fozzy's gonna rock up and, you know, maybe we can meet these guys and chat to them. And all of a sudden the door opens and it's like, you know, all that natural light pouring in, and you just see this silhouette, and it's obviously Chris Jericho, and he's sort of
Big guy, hey.
yeah, like not a tall guy, shorter than me, I think, or maybe about my height, but stocked,
Unit.
you know. And just one of those people that has that you can, before you even see them, you know they're in the room. Anyway,
It's a physical charisma, isn't it?
yeah, it is very physical charisma, and so very intimidating to me. And then and he wasn't even trying. Fast forward, right? I've got to meet up with
No, because a friend of a friend.
Yeah, so someone I was friends with said to me when they found out that Fozzy was playing, said, "Listen, my buddy in radio is friends with the drummer from Fozzy. Personal friends, you know, they've got a relationship, like a personal relationship. It's more than just sort of radio guys chat, that kind of thing." And he wanted me to go and pick up something from this guy, from drummer, from Fozzy. And like in Australia, when you play, it's like everyone's just in the same room, and it's like if you want to chat, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And you know, don't bother me, I won't bother you, that kind of thing. But you know, you if you're courageous enough, you can say, "How you going?" And you know, good show, and that was cool. And where you up to next? What do you like to do when you're not playing? All of that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I've got to go in after this. Sorry, I arranged with my friend. Yep, I'll meet up with this drummer. I will get the CD.
Was it the drummer or was it Rich Ward, the guitar player?
I think it was the drummer.
The drummer, right.
Because Mike is a drummer.
Okay, right.
So, oh, maybe it was Rich Ward.
Because I remember you. I'm pretty sure it was Rich, man.
Shit.
Which is funny because
Yeah.
like Rich is also a dude, you
Yeah.
know, like
And a nice guy. Like
he was in Stuck Mojo and they
Yeah.
did alright. And so anyway,
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure you were looking for Rich Ward.
right. So I walk in at the end of this show, and I mean, our show was quiet, and Fozzie's show wasn't any busier.
Yeah.
And I just feel for these guys. You know, they're halfway through a tour.
On a Tuesday night.
On a fucking Tuesday night, but you know, halfway through a tour, and they're just playing to an empty room, and you would just be like, "What the fuck are we doing out here?" Anyway, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Okay. And so at the end of the show, you know, while they're playing, we're partying and hanging out and stuff, and at the end of the show, everyone's cleared out, so it's just staff and bands left in this venue, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll go and catch this guy and get the CD. And I'm sort of walking in, and it's like this maze of corridors, and I sort of walk into this room, and there's 5 or 6 guys sitting down, all sweaty and all just like in silence, you know, just like looking at the ground like this, like they just lost the pennant, right? And they're sort of chatting a bit, and I'm waiting for like a little sort of like, hey, excuse me, and Chris Jericho looks up and he's like, "What do you want, bro?" You know, like just so annoyed to see me in there. And I was like, "Oh, hi, my friend has a friend, and he's a drummer, and he sent me in here to get something. His name," and I was just zero cool, right? And they're just like, no, like, and they're all looking like going, "Rich, who's Rich?" Oh, I don't know, like just playing dumb, like, "Get this fucker out of here," kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sorry to disturb you." So I left without getting the thing. And as I walk out, I hear someone go, "Dude, he looks like Russell Brand."
Oh man, I loved when you told us that story later in the night as well. When you were like, "Oh, I was looking for Rich, and like, you know, I'm talking to this guy. By the way, who's Chris Jericho? Like, which one is he? Is he the blonde guy?" It's like, yeah.
Oh,
so I
man.
love that you like, oi Jezzers, where's Rich?
I thought they're either gonna bash me or fuck me, so I'll get the hell out of here.
The we were reminiscing about 2015. We played at a venue called Vamped in Vegas. It was such a good gig. It was my birthday. Like Troy was there. It was funny because we were joking. It's like our wives came on the tour because it was only like 10 days or something.
Yeah.
My wife's from the States, so she wanted to go back and see her family. Brian's wife came along, and we were joking that Cam's wife came as well, which was Troy. So, you know, everyone had like a little buddy.
Yep.
On the tour, and our mate Chris Reeve, who's now the drummer for Tom Morello, and he's filling in for Avril Lavigne, and Chris has made a few video clips for us as well. It's just like Chris is top bloke, hey, like just one of the funniest men you'll ever meet.
He's another one of those guys with that vibe about him. You know, I was talking about Chris Jericho coming in. Chris was one of those guys you just knew he was going to be successful. I used to play,
Yeah.
the first band I ever played in was with Chris, and you just knew he had it, you know? Whatever it was that people talk about, he just, yeah.
Chris is like a guy who'll sit there behind a drum kit and play a Creedence song, but be like, oi, this is how Danny Carey would play Creedence, and like just do a perfect, or this is how Lars would play Creedence, you know, like, and it's just, yeah, his chops, like, great to play with. He deserves every bit of success.
Yeah, man.
So Chris happened to be in Vegas, and Troy and Chris, like, went out earlier in the day and got pretty drunk to start with. And we show up and we do this gig, and it went really well, like, packed. It's like this horror-themed venue. The people who own it, one of them is the guy who does Counting Cars on whatever show that is, and him and his wife are really lovely, and for some reason they love us. The gig always pays really, like, you get paid for the gig, so that's pretty awesome. So, and then a friend of ours had arranged a private table there with a birthday cake for me. So it's like, go on, do this sick gig on this great stage. People are loving it. Come off. There's like a private thing with like, you know, so it's like all my friends are there, you know, everyone's just having a great time. You guys were getting terpsed, Troy's there, Chris Reeves there, just like they're just dying of laughter the whole time. You're like drunk and dancing to the band that played after us, and
It was good music.
it was so funny. And we the gig's done, and it's like this big come down after the gig, you know, and somehow there's this bucket of popcorn.
Yeah,
Where did that come
I
from?
think they had it in the venue.
They must have had it in the
Yeah.
venue. So anyway, we've had this sick night. That was the best birthday ever for me. And we walk out into the car park, and there's this bucket of popcorn, and you just, for whatever reason, just have this bucket of popcorn and just drop punt it, you know, across the car park, and it makes this like.
Spectacular.
And like, his wife just comes out and is like, popcorn, get a dance in the popcorn. Yeah.
Which
Like-
clip is that in?
That's in the clip for Playing God.
Yeah.
So you can actually see that.
For a split second, you
Yeah.
can see us stomping all over the popcorn.
That was pretty good. That's a pretty good road story. Where we at?
Someone said I'd sound like Matthias or Mateus.
Where's Cam? Where's
Yeah,
Cam?
where's Cam?
I
I don't know this person. Sorry, Matthias. Is he from Opeth?
Matthias Eklund. Do you know Matthias? You know Freak Kitchen? Have you checked them out?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, do it.
I know the name Eklund.
People have, a few people have said we remind them of Freak Kitchen.
That's probably why I've heard of Free
Yeah.
Kitchen. Where's Cam? Cam's playing
Fortnite.
Fortnite with my son.
Owner Marshall DSL 100. Are you a fan of this amp? The
I-
gig I was just telling you about, I played that amp as backline, and it was pretty good. Someone asked about the Fortin stuff in the Axe Effects. I don't know. It'd be cool. They have. A lot of people have asked for the Fortin Cali, which is an Atomica, so we already have that. Basically, if you want Fortin stuff, and this I heard through a friend of a friend, where the Fortin Meshuggah and the Fortin Cali are essentially very, very similar to the Cameron Atomica circuit. So if you talk like the grinder boost into the Atomica, you should be able to get that kind of thing happening. Where's Cam? That is that's a bit of a meme on this channel now.
It is now, yeah.
There was an option to buy custom Fractal with less amps. Yeah. It'd be cool, yeah. I mean, the way I see the Fractal stuff is like, you pay the membership fee, and that gets you the hardware unit, and then you get like a lifetime of free stuff. And if you only use 2 amps, it's still better value than buying an amp, you know?
Yeah.
What are people saying?
Like a cave, many gigs like that. Like the bar is 10 feet from the stage, and the exit door is like a heaven of bright light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that place we played in France in the basement?
Yeah. And that was like steep steps going down.
That was, yeah, everything, like the difference between gigs in America and Europe is the steepness of the stairs. You know, the European stairs are just like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird venue, man.
And then Lyric Bread asks again, has anyone ever told you that you sound like Matthias Eklund? Now, do you mean talk or to sing? I'm going to have
Probably
to
to
check
sing. Probably to sing.
I'm going to have to check
Yeah,
this guy out.
you got a bit of that.
Who else was in Freak Kitchen?
I don't know.
All right.
But he's like a Swedish guy, and his shtick is he makes the sound of guitar effects, but doesn't use effects.
Cool.
He's a great player, man.
Having PRS, have you happened to play PRS Archon?
Yes, I played one at the amp show, and I liked it. But I reckon I liked the MT15 more.
John Roberts, message retracted. That's a sign of intelligence, if you can retract a message, because I don't know how. What have I done?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's-
spam call, great.
I'll take that call. Spam and eggs. Good evening, folks from Texas.
Vamped was the last time Chris was drunk, FYI. What a way to go out.
My goodness, well done, Chris. Hey Leon, are you a Marshall fan at all? How about the JVM series? Now I
Yeah.
can tell you when I met Leon, that was all that was in the basement. Was actually not all that was in the basement. Yeah, a bit of everything, but yeah, lots
Yeah.
of Marshalls. And for a while you were playing through my DSL, weren't you?
Mate, still do.
Had the 50.
Oi, that amp, I reckon, has sold a lot of DSLs through that channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did one of the first popular videos I did on the channel. I was with that amp, because the shtick was like, at the time I was like doing some videos, and I was like, it seems like you got to put some kind of thing in the title to sell it.
Yep.
So I was like, DSL, the last classic Marshall.
Wow.
And it's your amp.
That's a nice amp.
And so many people on it were like, that sounds sick, I'm going to buy one. And I'll probably get a couple of messages a month like, hey man, I bought a DSL 50 and I love it. So thank the Raffers, because he got me onto that one.
Yep, all that hard work I did making that amp.
Yep.
Sup from Nolan's.
Nolan's.
John Roberts again. Ryan. Joao? I don't know.
We were meant
Might
to do
be
a gig
Brazilian.
with Orpheus Amiga and their flight got cancelled.
Oh, hello. They missed the Perth gig. We're so disappointed. Ah, no worries.
Remember Stormrider Fest?
Yep.
They
Of
were
course,
meant to
yeah.
do
No,
that.
I know that name, Orpheus Omega. That's wicked. What a bummer they couldn't make it.
Still Crown and Coke time here.
Had a few of those black tooth grins. Mike Pearson, Basement in France. A Spinal Tap moment for sure.
That was a pretty good gig, actually. The guy, it was so funny because we got there and the guy who owned the bar, like they do over 200 gigs a year. He basically just books bands in every night. No matter who you are, you get paid the same and fed the same. It's like no special treatment. And he had this whole facade of being a real asshole. And because you'll load in, he's like, another shit band from wherever.
Yeah.
And we were like, actually, we're probably the shittest band you can have. So it was funny because we kind of broke this guy down pretty quickly, and he was actually a real sweetheart.
Yeah.
And at the he was like, man, he was American, but he'd been living in France for a while, so he kind of had that, man, I have to say, you guys, I don't have bands like you come through. You are tight. Normally bands are messy. The band who opened for us got to be the worst band we've ever played with, hey?
Jeez, man. Like, it was so funny because these guys, they were just so cool and rock star and...
I remember, get this band who opened for us, they loaded in, each guitar player had a mint condition JMP era Marshall. Like mint. Like absolute holy grail Marshall, each of them. And I was like, this is going to be pretty cool. They got these big beards and tattoos and like I'm thinking, man, these guys are just going to rip. Guitar player pulls out of his bag and an Ibanez Gio, the G-I-O, like that guitar, and you can see the strings are and they were like total beginners.
Yeah.
Like they had literally bought gear and just said, yeah, we're a band. And backstage, they're like, yeah, you want to cook?
Yeah, they didn't speak much English, but they knew how to offer us Coke,
So-
which we politely declined.
So, I loved how you were like, no judgment though.
Yeah, I was like, nah, thanks, no judgment. And Cam's looking at me going, Willie, like, don't. It's like, man, I'm not doing that. Like, no, yeah, again, no judgment. I just know I couldn't do it with my sensitive
And remember that guy. And so anyway, these guys got like mega coked up, did this gig, were
abysmal,
beginners,
to say the least.
and then they came back, and one of them went on this rant about like it was a hell like fuck you mum and dad rant,
It
like
was a cocaine rant.
all just like, and they say, I won't do the bad French accent, but he was like, yeah, all my friends who work in an office, they say I am a loser, but they do not understand the power of rock and roll, and we're just sitting there like, nah mate, you're a loser.
He was sitting there smoking, telling us, I'm a rock star.
I'm a
Anyway,
rock star,
yeah,
I'm going to the top, and we were like,
okay,
you know,
mate.
no, there's no rock stars anymore.
Hello from Russia. Thanks for your videos. On
Wow,
Eventide.
awesome. A band from Perth did a tour of like Russia and Ukraine and Eastern Europe recently, and apparently it was amazing. I would love to go on tour there.
Matthias Eklund, oddly enough, has the same name as the head of Toon Track.
Ah, interesting.
There's a flying V on Gumtree for $10. It's about 18 inches long. I don't think it's a me either.
Anything 18 inches long, you should distrust.
You can't spell flying without lying. Marshall DSL and the Vintage Modern was the video.
That's the
man.
one, yeah. I actually sold my Vintage Modern recently, which is a little bit of a sad thing because I really like that amp. I didn't sell it because I had to. I sold it because I'm getting something else, which is going to be pretty sick. It's another amp, which I need amps like I need a kick in the dick, but It's good. I think people really like what I've got coming.
Thanks, Gibson Harley. Have a great day, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
Saying thanks for using your stomp. Mark Daly's new.
It's tight for 80s Jam. So, have you seen any of Mark Day's videos?
No.
Mark Day, I reckon, is the most... He's the closest human being alive to me.
Right.
In terms of, like, how we... He's just me in another 25 years. Like, we're hanging out at Axe Fest, and it was funny because whatever happened, it was like breakfast, and we come down on the first day. And, you know, there's this big buffet-style breakfast. And because there's, like, you know... I wonder how many people... There was some, like, Mormon children's choir thing there. And then there was the amp show stuff. So there's, like, maybe, you know, 100 people there, 100 people for this thing. And get to breakfast, and I see Mark, and he's like, oh, you know, come and sit with us. And we look at each other, and we have chosen from over, like, 50 different choices the exact same breakfast. And we looked at it, and we kind of chuckled. And then we're eating, and then at some point he had some condiment, like maple syrup or something, that he added to this other thing while I was doing it at the same time. And we were just laughing. And then later he's like, oh yeah, Leon, it's really funny. Like, that's right, because PRS lent me a single cut. And he was like, oh, how's that single cut? Because I used to play one. Like, I used to play an SC245 exactly like yours. And he was telling me, he's like, anytime I see one of your videos, I miss that guitar. And the more we talked to one another, the more we were just like, yeah, I do that too. Or, yeah, I don't do that as well. Or, yeah, that really annoys me too. It was like, yeah, the same.
Like,
we were just, on the second day, we're just like, we're the same person.
You guys did that thing where you each eat the same strand of spaghetti?
Yeah, yeah.
And then they just skipped off into the sunset?
That's right. And so later at dinner, we ordered exactly the same thing. From, you know, those American pub menus which have 1,000 things in them?
Yeah.
We both ordered the same, like, crispy chicken tender with salad. Like the same boring meal. It was a pretty good meal, actually.
The chicken tender with salad.
Is it worth nowadays releasing an instrumental rock album, or is an EP the better way to go? Well, I reckon...
Well, what makes it worth it for you?
Yeah.
Know, what would make it worth it, you know?
Yeah. If you just want to release some music, I've seen guys like Penny and Nick Johnston, like the guys who are killing it doing instrumental music, seem to have had quite a bit of success doing EPs. I don't think... Well, we don't do instrumental rock music. We do instrumental rock with vocals.
I think the thing with doing an album that I've found, if you're going to do an album, you have to just appreciate the nature of the you know, the condition of the market at the moment. Yeah. And that's that people, you know, people who like albums will get the album, but I don't know a lot of people, or I don't know of a lot of people nowadays outside of this sort of circle who consume albums. You know, they just sort of get singles and that kind of thing. So it all depends where, you know, where you're releasing it and that kind of stuff.
Depends what your budget is. It depends where you're at. If you're trying to, you know, establish some kind of presence, or for instrumental stuff, I think less in terms of like EP or album and more in terms of like play length, because 40 minutes is an album.
Yep.
And 20 to 30 minutes is an EP. But I've seen people do EPs that are like 36 minutes long. That's technically an album. Ryan from Plagueside, his EP that he recently put out, that to me is an album, but it's got, what, 4 or 5 tracks on it. So for instrumental stuff, yeah, you might almost be better off just trickling it out as a succession of singles, because a lot of it's based around content. So anyway, where are we at?
Get a Sur PT15 and
That'd
do
be
a review.
Cool. If Pete or John would like to send me one of those amps, I would be very happy to do that. Or if anyone gets one and wants to lend it to me. Where do you guys come down on harmonicas?
Well, I usually don't like organs in my mouth, but I don't mind having a blow.
I saw Mark Days turn up the radio video, and it made me think of Steve Lynch.
Turn up the radio as in...
Autograph.
Right.
Yeah. I have Steve Lynch's video on VHS, and all the tapping stuff, the like... I do, which is like that lick, and I butchered one of his things, like the hammerhead solo, and there's a tapping Yeah, I don't do a lot of tapping, but the tapping that I do, 100% Steve Lynch.
I only buy albums, never buy singles, but I'm old.
Nah, that's good. I'm pretty terrible though, because I basically don't buy music anymore. I listen to it on Spotify, and if I like it, I'll buy it on like Bandcamp or something like that. I try to find the revenue stream where
The artist gets the bulk
the
of
most,
it.
yeah. Or I'll buy merch instead. Spelling not good today. That's all right,
Yeah,
mate.
he says here, really recommend the Mezzo Mini, warm cleans,
Yeah.
savage distortion.
Yeah.
Best all-round amp killer.
So they make a mini recto,
Cool.
which is
That'd
sick.
be nice.
I wish I had that 10 years ago.
What kind of 80s rock do you guys listen to? Badlands, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we listen to a lot of 80s rock. That's kind of Ragdoll started as a hell wannabe 80s rock band.
Yeah.
One band that we like a lot, that are criminally underrated, are Harem Scarum, and we talk about that band a lot. And that's because of Cam, because he was like, man, you guys have to hear this song. And he played us Hard to Love, and we were like, this is...
He heard it in the
Degrassi movie. Yeah. Was he saying we should learn Fallen Angel by Poison?
The guy that was asking for the Aussie rock stuff,
Yeah.
or the Aussie songs, afterwards he goes, because, what's that? Every Rose As
Yeah.
Its Thorn was playing at the time, and he goes, oh, this one. No. Fallen Angel.
He asked for Fallen
He
Angel.
asked for
Wow.
Fallen Angel, yeah. I was like,
And I'm sure if Troy's watching, he'll agree with me. And we kind of all agree. It's like I like the darker sounding 80s stuff. Like in terms of like hair metal, I prefer Rat and that kind of stuff to Poison and Britney Fox and
Yep.
you got the glammy sounding stuff that's all like often like major key, very rock and roll influence. Probably the guys who loved like Bowie and Mott the Hoople
Yep.
and Slade, like those kind of British glam bands that were really rock bands in makeup. You got that side of 80s rock, and then you've got the Rat crew. I'd put like Dokken in there.
yep. Yeah, that's
I like all that kind of stuff. And then you've got the stuff that got lumped in with it that's different, like Queensryche, who probably my favorite band from that era. Who aren't, they're not 80s rock. They just happen to be out in the 80s. And like Rat, some of the Rat stuff's in Drop D, which is awesome, and it's kind of mean music.
Yeah, and
Badlands. See, because to my conception of that is you had like metal.
Was Badlands Jake E. Lee?
Yeah.
Yep.
That first Badlands album is that was a pretty important one.
Whiskey Dust?
Yep, and
Yeah, I like that one.
you got
Yep. That's right.
there's a song on there right at the end called Seasons or something. I remember listening to it and being like, this reminds me of a Dio song, and that was the moment I was like, I love Badlands. The first Lynch Mob album I really like, which is no surprise because George is sick.
Someone said, what about
Well,
Queensryche?
Yeah, Empire is like the album we bonded over a lot. Queensryche is a band that the three of us all agree are sick. Hey?
Yeah.
There's a lot of the way you and Cam play together is very Queensryche. Cam, I reckon if I had to compare the way Cam plays drums to like some other drummer, it's Scott Rockenfield.
Yeah.
He's in that
it's
category of
very
like
much, Cam likes getting those hits. He likes getting the bass and the drums to do the same.
detail.
Yep.
There's so much. If you listen to the Ragdoll stuff and just listen to the drums, there's so much detail in there. While you and me are just like, gun, 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 gun.
Leon, did you used to practice 8 hours a day?
Guitar? Nah,
It's not practice when it's fun, mate.
nah, never. I don't think I've ever played guitar 8 hours a day. I tried. I've always found practicing in little spurts was way more effective. I've practiced other things 8 hours a day, but definitely not guitar.
John Roberts bought all my Ragdoll stuff. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Best
and
mini out there. Where they come-
So Jerry Cantrell has a signature Friedman. They
Yeah.
make a mini version of it. Do you know what a Friedman is?
Is he a guitarist?
You know Jerry Cantrell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's he from? What band?
Alice in Chains.
That band, what, Alice in Chains?
Yep.
Boy, who said that? Did somebody say that?
Yeah, someone did. Some troglodyte.
About us, which, hey, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take an Alice in Chains or King's X. Yeah, but Friedman are like sick amps, and they make a Jerry signature.
I did know that. I did know Friedman was an amp, but I have to go, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day, Ryan.
See
Can
you,
you
man.
sing me out? Are you still there, John? Is it worth me singing? No, I think he's
Oh,
gone.
we're not that behind.
Aren't we?
Nah. Someone's
yeah.
talking about Axe Effects. Let's see. We'll smash through and get purchasing Axe Effects 3. That is my absolute pleasure. We make a live setup video for multiple guitars and bass. I have a little rundown of our live rig, which you can go through. How old are you, Rafferty? 80?
Yeah, about that.
You're an 83.
83. So I
And-
just turned 36 the other day.
86.
Did I say 86?
86.
Sorry, I just turned 36.
It's not bad. I saw them on the Empire tour. Jealous.
Wow.
We saw their last gig with Jeff Tate, actually, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was at Rocklahoma, the first year we played, when he had that meltdown on stage.
Try
we were
and
like,
understand.
Mike is Eddie Jackson. Yep.
Oh, this is a good question. Like, John, why are you yelling at us?
Yeah. You know what?
I appreciate it, John. I can read it from all the way back here. So
No, and that's the thing. When I discovered that people who type in all caps often do it because it's easier to read.
Right.
It actually changed the way I look
Yeah.
at the internet.
Well, I write in caps. Just
Yeah, me too.
if it's a capital letter,
Yeah.
I just make it bigger.
Mike is Eddie Jackson. Oi, Troy, when are we going to do a Queensryche tribute? Because I reckon you got vocals.
Get Ben to sing.
Mike bass, Troy guitar. I'll shave and be Chris DeGarmo. Lynch Pilson made a great album. Yeah, I remember that one coming out. First Extreme album. Yeah, man, I listened to the second Extreme album, I reckon, for about 6 months every day when I was in year 11. I would come home from school and I would put Extreme on, and then I'd take a nap, and then I'd do my homework, and then I'd play guitar. 25 miles from your house. That's crazy. When's the FM3 coming out?
Drinking caps?
Dan Britton to sing.
Yeah, of course.
That'd
yeah.
be sick.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. You know Dan would just be down for it. Dr. David. You know what that's from?
Yep. Operation. Yeah. That's the Mindcrime one, isn't it?
A professional airline pilot.
I did know that. I had, because there's a, I remember someone was talking about how there's this phenomenon of musicians going and becoming
is.
pilots.
Oh, is this a live stream?
Live stream. There he is. There's Cam.
He's gonna go wash his ass. Fuck, have we been talking for over an hour now?
Yeah.
I'm
This
sitting
is
thinking, "Bye, guys."
for you.
Oh, see you, John. You're going.
Yeah. See you, mate.
Sad to say, it's time to go.
Yeah, here it is.
G'day, Cash.
Hi.
You want to say hi to a few strange people on the internet?
Okay.
You can talk to strangers.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Hello.
This is Cash. My son, by the way. Don't let the hair fool you.
How old are you, Cash?
I'm 9, almost 10.
I remember.
Almost 10, almost double digits.
But here's a spinner. You want to know this? I remember the very first rehearsal we ever had with the band at my house was a week after he was born.
That's right.
And we were all like, oh man, like Cash is born. And you were like, yeah, whatever. We're like, yeah, whatever, come on, let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's
I've got to
get
go
on.
home.
I'll never forget your dad holding him and like, Cash was tiny and
Yeah.
Leon's dad's holding him like, it looked like
You know
the
the way
first
John
time
would
he
be,
had
all,
ever held a baby, but he was just like, look at him, and Durry hanging out the side of his mouth.
My dad
Great.
actually, you know, Bill quit smoking.
Yeah?
How cool is that? Can't believe he did it. My dad has smoked since he was
10.
About Cash's age.
Yeah. That's the Eastern European influence in there. And he's 62. Is he 62?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
must be.
62. He's 62 and he quit 4 or 5 months ago. And he's loving it. He's so funny. The other day, he's like, mate, for the first time in my life, I'm putting on weight. I feel fat. And he's like, he'd be 5'10" and maybe 56 kilos on a good day. Like just skin and bone.
Yeah.
So that's pretty funny. What do you, where are we at with the questions? Don't talk to strangers, mate.
Hi, Cash. Awesome choice of name. Thanks. I like the song Kashmir by Led Zeppelin, obviously, but I thought Cash with a C looked better than Cash with a K.
Yeah. Here we go. Robert Cowie. Kids are awesome. He's got 4. How many do you have, Rafferty?
I got 4.
There you go. That's
Only
fantastic.
reason I'm alive. Yep. I feel the same way sometimes, Rob.
We often joke that Ryan's got enough kids for all of us.
It's funny because people often go, how many kids do you have? And they're like, oh, he's got about 10 or 12. So they assume that I'm a bit of a rat and, you know, put the seed around. And it's funny, we met, it was Gamble's friend, hey? And she had 4 kids. All the same woman? Like all the same
Yeah, that's
mum or
right.
something?
Yeah.
It was just...
But the look of disbelief on her face, like, couldn't be, hey?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's awesome.
There's always guitars, mate. That's right.
Exactly. You're thinking drum though, hey?
Nice one,
Yeah.
John.
Get you onto can.
My GF has 8 kids. We call them the basketball team. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. The basketball team.
Wow, man.
Is it at the level where once you've had like lots, the eldest would be able to help looking after the...
Yeah.
Any family I've ever known with like 4 kids plus, it's actually the eldest kid basically becomes a parent, you know? Like,
That's me.
yeah, you know, and it's like, it's funny because when I think about other kids your age, they're not as switched on. Because they might be like the only kid and they're just like, how sick am I?
Well, they don't. I mean, Cash is very good at letting things go because he just knows, you know, it's part of life, you know.
Yeah. That's a skill that took me a lot
Ages?
more. Oh, still working on it.
I'm still figuring it
If
out.
you can let stuff go, mate, you'll have a very, very happy life.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like Pixie.
but yeah,
Yeah, still has some friend problems going on.
Oh,
Ah,
Let's-
everyone
let's
has
not
friend
discuss
problems.
Pixie's personal life here, hey?
Yeah, when Ryan kissed her.
Stop it. I'm gonna kill that kid.
This guy. This guy. Oh yeah, what's your favourite Ragdoll song, Cash?
All I Want.
Ooh, good choice. What's the one you call the fighting song?
Shine.
Tell them about that.
They put on, I heard my kids going, yeah, let's put the fight song on. Yeah, gonna put the fight song on. And they're talking about the fight song. And then I can hear my own voice sort of billowing through the house. Billowing?
Smoke billows,
Go,
you
smoke
bellow.
billows, I bellow. And yeah, so they put on Shine off the Back to Zero album, and they just rumble on the bed.
Yeah, we're just fighting the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
I have
that-
one son, all from different. Yep, very nice.
I still have too many guitars. 2 kids, and one is 27 now, and still a pain in the ass. Sounds like me.
Yep.
I have 4 also. This is
Bloody hell, you mad rooters.
raise the younger ones. True about the oldest kid. My boys are in Boston. Boston and Halen. They're sick names.
Great names. Hey, anyone with 4 kids or multiples, did you find, or from experience, having 1 kid was obviously an adjustment. Having 2, because we had our children quite close together, the second one came along and just blindsided us because she was very difficult. And then the third,
Doesn't sound
going
like Pixie at all,
like
does it?
the third was no more difficult, and same with fourth. It's like we found 2.
You reach saturation point?
Yeah, you reach saturation point. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear what the other fathers of 4 reckon. Don't tell the PMRC.
Yeah, no, I see that.
What's PMRC?
You know that like censorship thing in the States?
Oh yeah.
I think. Ah, mate, who is that?
True about the oldest one, boys of Boston and Halen. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you read that one.
Apparently your dad's just farting.
It's not me.
What
Hit record Lynch Pilson tune, Beast in a Box, best song no one knows about.
Gonna listen to that after this?
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
rectify that. Yeah. Spinal Tap moment opened for Pantera in 1990 in St. Louis, Missouri.
Whoa!
What did you do that was so Spinal Tappy? 7-star? I was tricked. My grandma had 9, yeah. grandma's.
My
Yeah,
mum's,
third and
my
fourth,
mum's one of
totally
7.
fine. I blame them the most.
Isn't Mr. Purcell one of like 8?
He's
9?
one of 10.
One of
No,
10.
one of 11.
Yeah.
Wow.
11.
And he's not an old guy. You know, he's quite a young man.
Yeah.
One was a dang handful. The other folks are true bad. Yeah, one is a handful because I have one. Should be home now looking after him, but instead I'm watching you boys.
Hey!
Hey, that's what Amy's for.
Rondo.
Right? Yeah. I'm doing guitar wrong when I prefer primitives like Graham Coxon, Link Ray, or Johnny Ramone over
No.
the Shredders.
Nothing wrong about that.
Mate, whatever
How can you not like Link Ray, by the way?
grabs you by the balls, mate.
Yeah. Back to Zero is on replay while I work in my shop lately. That's pretty cool.
The song or the album? Because the song's kind of
90 seconds of ambient Star Trek.
when you have 2 kids, you run out of hands to hang on to them. So Anymore is probably no biggie. Exactly. Yeah. Beast in a Box. Yep. Great
It's a
walking,
great walking
song.
song. We're a bit of a walking band.
Let's go for a walk later. And there was a door at the venue that opened to the street right outside of it. Hang on, I can't see because of that arrow. Oh, there you go.
Right outside of it was a pimp trying to sell us watches, women in a car. That doesn't sound like St. Louis at all. When are you guys coming back to the States? I'm in Kentucky and would love to see you guys. No idea. We need to go back and do some gigs. Need to finish the album. What do you reckon, Cash? Come out, lug some road cases for us on tour,
Yeah.
eat some burgers.
Oh,
Yeah.
you'll love
If
it,
we fill you up with burgers, you'll be full of strength.
Yeah.
What did you eat yesterday?
A Whopper.
Whole one, hey.
Yeah.
Just
Not a Whopper Junior though.
not a.
You smashed it before we... Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing, actually. Because what did you get? Some bacon avo burger?
Yeah,
And
bacon.
I'm still hungry.
And then Cam, Cash, and I got Whoppers. And I mean, like, fair enough, I was driving, but like, he smashed his burger before Cam did. And Cam can eat. Kansas City. Idiot. We've played in Kansas City before at a few places, I feel like.
I think Kentucky's KY, isn't it?
KY, yeah, I'm an idiot. Bit of Kentucky Fried Chicken. What do you reckon of the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Cash?
It's good.
Pretty good chicken?
Yeah.
Between the Nando's and the Kentucky Fried, what's your...
Nando's.
Yeah, Nando's is good.
Nando's. Yeah, Nando's is a bit easier to eat more of.
One nice thing about the town of Kalgoorlie is they have a Nando's. So you're always sorted for a lunch.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Kentucky City. What was that? Kentucky City.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. The Riot Room.
Yeah,
That's where we
yeah.
played.
Oh,
That was-
no. Where was the boiler room?
Boiler Room's in Dallas.
Right.
Was in Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah, we played this place called the Riot Room. Great venue. And they had a real, like, electronic indie band on before us. So we get there and it's packed and we're like, cool. And we started playing and I've never seen a room clear so fast.
Okay, just quickly, Mike Pearson, can we agree that Jerry Reed ruled?
Oh, yeah.
Was Jerry Reed, was he the, she got the gold mine, I got the shaft? Was that him? Maybe I'm getting confused.
I think of Jerry Reed as like absolute country pickin' maestro.
That's him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's amazing, man.
Do you guys use in-ears at gigs? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
If we've got foldback speakers, we'll use them too. If in-ears, which ones?
A really good solution is we were talking about this last night. Is having your ears in, but also having some stuff coming out of the foldback so you can feel a bit of air moving. That's a pretty good compromise, especially if the room's not super loud. If you're in like a big venue where it's pumping, then you can always feel that like bass response. But
The ears is great though, because you can just hear everything that you need to hear well enough, and if you've got the time to tune it in, it sounds.
you've got
Perfect.
ultimate. You and Cam have ultimate ears, and I've got a set of audio flyers. My audio flyers are actually busted. One of the right hand side just. You remember it came apart in New Zealand?
That's right.
So I've got it taped up and it's not working properly at the moment, so I need to sort that out. But otherwise, they're really good ears.
Does Cash play guitar or any other instruments? Not at this stage. I would love for him to get into it, but at the moment
Drum.
we've been getting
Drum.
Cash into his sport and health and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cash counts the cash. Destiny, exactly. Cash is king.
Cash money.
That's what my dad always says. Can we agree that Jerry Reed ruled? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's agree with that again. Then they don't know what good music is. You guys rule.
Yeah.
Chicken picking must be admired, truly.
Buddy of ours, Luke Gallagher. If you like chicken picking stuff, he's a guy from Perth. Early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
He's like Brent Mason Jr. But he's and he can sing. Have you heard Luke sing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice voice. Josh can sing as well.
Yeah.
His brother.
Very talented boys. And yeah, he's got this really great Jerry Reed cover where he's doing all the chicken picking and singing. Just like telly, clean sound, bit of reverb, and it's so good. I sent him a message after that and I was like, I hate you. This is from South Korea. 23 people gathered. Great. This is all right. You know, people, I think you see like 20 to 30 people at any one time, but when I go back through the analytics, it'll tell you like, you know, a few hundred people because people are at work or
they're in and out.
They'll come in for 5 minutes and ask a question, or some people will just hang out and, you know, they're drinking a beer or having a coffee.
Actually, from Korea, Leon had bibimbap for dinner last night.
How long does it take? Yeah. Get this right. We are at eating a bibimbap bowl, so eating a Korean style dish in an Irish style pub in an Australian country town. Globalism's a pretty amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take to record an album? At the moment,
2 years.
2 years. We've been very on and off with it.
Actual contact time, recording, I mean, it's sort of a song a night.
Yeah. If we took 2 weeks and did nothing else, we
Yeah.
could record an album.
Yeah.
And in the past, we've kind of done that. So,
Yeah.
we've just we just had stuff on. Here we go.
Yeah, I keep having kids.
Back to Zero was like 5 or 6 weeks, I feel like.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Now, what did Tondi say?
Down the bottom. Sorry. Back to Zero was done in about
2 months. Yeah. So that's like get in, smash it out. First 2 EPs were a month with each every day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But
Yeah, that's you though, Troy. I mean, me coming in, going yeah, and then off I go. You know.
yeah, a couple of days for Rafferty.
Yeah, I forget. There's all of this work that I don't see, that Leon and Troy painstakingly.
The people who do the most work are Troy by a long way, and then Cam.
Yeah,
'cause
actually-
that's all prep
Yep.
to record drums.
Okay, well-
And then Troy deals with all our slop and makes it sound great.
I'm about to set up my Mesa Quad 2 90
Oh,
with an FX8. Should I bother making humbuster cables? With my GT100, my setup is hum-free. Greetings from Belgium.
Probably not. You'll probably be fine. And if you do, humbuster cables are really easy to make. So I just not do it and fire it up and see how it sounds. And that'd be a pretty amazing sounding rig.
Greetings
Wow.
from Belgium. So, what do they say? Choose.
Yeah.
What was it when they left?
We
Anytime they left a restaurant, they'd go, choose.
We spent a pretty funny 4 days in Belgium. We had so when we toured Europe, we flew into France. We drove like 12 hours to a gig in Switzerland, spent a day there, drove another stupid amount to Belgium, and in 1 4-day period we had 1 gig. Then we had like the rest of the tour. It was just this little flat spot. And where was that? What's the name of that town? It's where they make that beer.
Yep. I just can't remember the name of it. It'll come to us.
Roeselare.
Yep. That's
Roeselare in Belgium. And that was so interesting. We went to a little market on like a Sunday and there were people selling sausages. And they gave us sausages. And then they came to the gig.
That's right.
Like they just came down and checked it out and had like a wicked time. And we went to Bruges, which was... That's up there with like the best days I've ever had on tour. And our friend Jan, who took the day off from his job at the Flanders tourism service to show us around Bruges, and he just insisted on paying for everything. He bought us chocolate. That was such a good day.
Yeah. It was like, because what was his role? Did you mention that?
Yeah, he was like a
Yeah.
tourist guy.
Sorry, I was reading the things here. Troy points out that the first 2 EPs were a month solid each track, and a lot of the editing was done in the room we're sitting in
Yeah, that's right.
now.
I remember
that. Tell them about tracking All I Want, but Firstly, Alex would like to know which pickups are in your
In this
PRS.
one, Seymour Duncan, JB, and Jazz. In the other one, they're the stock pickups.
And 6 Inline agrees, Cash, that sports is a good idea more than ever due to all the sitting on our ass distractions.
Yep, definitely. You gotta be fit and strong.
Well,
Oh, we should look up that jump program and do it.
Oh
Yeah, the
basketball
yeah.
thing?
I want to get into that.
Yeah.
I want to improve my vertical leap.
right, Dad.
Honestly, exchange rate sucks for you guys. Gear too expensive there. Count our blessings in the States. Yep.
The first time we went to the States, the Aussie dollar was like better than the US dollar, so we went pretty silly. Bought a lot of gear. Tracking all I want. Oh man, that was pretty interesting. My recollection is that we did the drums in 2 nights, and Cam just like destroyed. Like he just came in and was like, and then just like did it. Like maybe had a couple of like Monster Energies or something. No, V's.
I left the studio absolutely exhausted one night. And I hadn't even done that much, but I just left thinking, I gotta go. Like, this is too late. I've got work tomorrow. And when I woke up in the morning, Cam was just leaving the studio.
That's
I was
right.
getting messages going, yep, no, I'm on the way home and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah,
That was, and you had like a thing with your voice during that, hey?
that was a bit frightening. Yeah.
Didn't you have to get the thing down your throat?
Oh my god, that was horrible. I had this
Because we
I
were
just-
recording in like March, April, and we were going on tour in May.
yeah. Every time I swallowed, it just felt like there was a lump in my throat, and it was just sore. Had a camera. It was like a long, about as thin
remember
as
this?
a charge cable,
You're probably too young.
and it was about that long,
They put a camera.
and just
Up his nose.
shoved it up my nose, and because
Like a
it's
little one.
really
So it went down his
floppy,
throat,
it
so
goes
it can
down my
look
throat.
like-
And he had a look, nothing in there. He said, no, nothing to worry about. You're probably just drinking too much coffee, or it's a nervous thing, or I don't know what it was. But yeah, it went away. Once I realized it was nothing, it went away. How many times do you commit incest?
I haven't crossed that particular boundary yet.
How many times do you commit incest?
We'll move on from that one. Bruges is great. I can't believe you were here in Belgium. I'd go back to Belgium anytime. Alternating weekend with you guys in T-Set in Cal. We had 2 to 3 days max per week to record because of away gigs. That's right. Singing every weekend. Hard. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yeah, thanks, Troy.
I've forgotten a lot of this.
Yeah, no, I was singing every
That's
weekend.
right, because it was like, we'd be here in Kalgoorlie doing a gig. Then we'd drive back on a Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'd record. Troy's band would come out, do Kalgoorlie, come back, record. Then, like, we'd come out. We were, like, alternating these gigs. That was hardcore, man.
Yeah, and on those weekends that he was here, I would be playing with the other guys. And I was we had a very different set list back then.
Yeah.
We had a very taxing set list. So it took a few goes. You a bit bored, mate? Yeah.
Bored.
I'll take
Bored.
Cash, especially when we're getting these weird incest questions. I might get Cash out of here. Melted. ninja.
Favorite ragdoll song?
Favorite ragdoll song? What to play?
Oh, just favorite.
Did someone ask us that?
Yeah. I like what you said. All I Want's yours. Hey.
Yeah.
I like All I Want. I like Shine. I really like playing Save Me live.
Yeah.
When we get to that part of the set, that's the sort of like, you got the neck on the throat, and you know that's like the part of the gig where it's always like, all right, from here on in, we got him.
Wait, what's the new one?
Rust.
Yeah.
I really like that one. Yeah. There's a song I'm really looking forward to you tracking vocals on. You know that Nostalgia one?
Yeah.
I reckon that's going to be my favorite one.
It's gonna be fun. I like playing God.
Playing
It's like
God's
just
fun.
for me, that's such a gimmick, you know.
I like King's Triple X. That's come out really good. And I reckon that what's the other one? Sky's Limit. These are all working titles. They'll probably end up being the song names. Hey.
Yeah.
You can't call it song King's Triple X. So. But yeah, there's like a few of the new ones which I reckon are going to be, and that boo gloo dadu dadu. We need to rewrite all of that, hey?
Yeah.
all the vocals.
I won't get there. Also, Nat and Mark cooked the DDP, and you didn't get the CD in time for rock.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, that was a bit of a Spinal Tap moment as well.
This is why we manage ourselves. Lovely guys, but there was a major miscommunication and no one did the DDP, and we didn't have the physical albums in time for the festival thing. So we bought a CD player, and we had like a 4 or 5 hour drive, and Cam sat in the back of the car with his laptop, burning the album onto discs, and we were like, well, we'll just say it's a special edition. So we hand wrote them, and we put it together with like
Printed some pictures of ourselves
Yeah.
to slip into these little.
and we sold 100 of them.
Yeah.
We sold all of those on that tour. Can you believe that? In like a couple of shows.
So if anyone's got one, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that was really funny. And then we got the albums. They arrived like a week late, and we did the rest of the tour. And
Yeah, thanks for the tip there, Robert and Jean. I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Kurt Parker wants to know, how long have you guys known each other? Are you from the same town, or how did all of you meet? Well, I used to play in a cover band. I played in cover bands for years. And Leon, I don't know how. Did you contact me?
All right, so this is really funny. I remember MySpace being a thing, and I used to record little guitar instrumental things on my Boss hard disk recorder. And you know, on MySpace you could put a song up there, so I put my own songs on there. And one day I get a message on there from this guy called Troy, being like, hey, you want to come and jam with my band? And that's how I met Troy, and that's how I met Cam. So we were playing together. And then a few years later, Cam and I were still playing together with this other guy, Mike, and we were looking for a singer. And we get a message from Ryan on MySpace, which was basically like, I reckon we like the same stuff. Come and check out my band. We do like a late night Wednesday night thing at this place. And we were like, cover band singer? We were all like 22, 21, 22 at the time.
Cover
He
band.
plays in a cover
Married.
band.
Like-
And we were looking at his page and we we're like, oh bro, he's married as well. Nah, so we just didn't. And yeah, anyway, long story short, we ended up playing together in a 5-piece band with another guy singing lead vocals. Ryan playing rhythm guitar and singing BVs.
Playing that guitar, actually. Is that the green one? Yep.
Greenie.
Yep.
Yeah, so we started this thing as, we thought we were going to be Def Leppard, 5 blokes in a line. And then the bass player left, so Ryan moved over to bass, and then we moved the singer on, and Ryan started singing. And we briefly had another friend of ours playing guitar, and then that didn't work out, so we were just like, nah, 3-piece.
3's easy. Yep.
So I reckon I've known Cam and Troy since 2005, end of 2006. So coming up 13 years. Probably known Ryan for 11 or 12.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go.
So that's it.
Yeah. No, they get the band hammer on them. All right. I reckon that's a pretty good little live stream. Let's go kick a footy and play some basketball. What do you reckon?
And wash our bottoms. Separately.
Roughly the 13th of December 2006. The very first thing I remember is walking into a venue and this guy standing up and saying to me, "Are you Leon?" And me looking at him and him going, "I'm Troy." And we were about the same height. We both had heaps of long hair, and we did the handshake, and it was sort of like, who's gonna flinch first? And then Troy goes, "Hey man, let me buy you a beer." And I was like, I don't drink. And the first words I ever heard out of Cam's mouth were like Gene Simmons.
Finish yet?
Just about to finish. You want to say hi?
No, I've never moisturised.
Oh, that's all right.
I'll go to the bathroom.
All right.
You want to do it here? No, there's a mirror here.
Leon never let go of a handshake yet.
I'm out.
All right, we're out of here. Troy, it has been good chatting to you, and we'll talk about finishing that album pretty soon, I think. To everybody else, legends. This was really fun. We need to do some more band-related Q&As, I think, because this was heaps of fun.
Is it too soon to do another one before we leave here?
Oh, we could do another one. Why not? People like hanging out. Hi from Korea and Rust is a damn good song. Thank you so much. I reckon ultimate bucket list places to play for me are Korea and Japan.
Yeah, I'd love to give that a go.
I went to Japan last year and I met quite a few Korean people, and they were just so lovely. There was a ramen place with this huge line in Osaka, and the guy in front of us was Korean, and his girlfriend was Japanese, and they lived in Korea, but they'd come back to see her family, and we were talking to him, and he's like, yeah, I'm from South Korea, and you know, we're here for a week, and today is my day to do what I want, and this is what I want to do. And we were in line for like, 90 minutes or something, and he was just like, oh, I've been waiting so long to eat here at Ichiran, I think. And yeah, he was such a cool dude. And yeah, we were just like chatting, and he was like, oh, rock music, yeah, I love rock, so I was pimping the band.
Saki is awesome.
Let my first song start to finish. Does not knowing the solo count?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. I don't know the solos for any songs. I just like. Is that what it sounds like when I play guitar? Just like.
That's better than that.
Person falling downstairs.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the time.
He knows. He knows. All right, legends. Thank you so much. If you want, I'm basically going to stop doing my Friday Q&A videos and do a live stream on Friday morning my time, Thursday night American time. And yeah, so if you got any questions, tune in. These are heaps of fun, and we'll keep it spicy with different guests. What do you reckon? You coming on the next one, Cash?
Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty. Take it easy, boys.
Bye.